Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. What we have here is a 2007 Craftsman front-wheel drive with a Briggs & Stratton engine, probably the 675. It is the electric start edition. So the story behind this one, I had fixed a gentleman's generator. He had seen this in his neighborhood. He snatched it up for me, so it's a free machine. So let's take a look at this thing. We're going to find out why it was pushed to the curb. There's no battery in it. The electric starter is still in place. No key switch, so I went ahead already and disconnected some of the wiring. The micro switch was still on the kill switch over here. I unplugged that, and then I unplugged the wire to the starter as well. So as you can see, this thing's been sitting under a tree for a long time. We've got some lichen growing here. A lot of moss and oak leaves on the deck, and you can see all the mold and algae growing on the deck as well. So one of the main concerns I see right away are both cables are in op. The emergency brake cable is rusted off here. The drive cable is disconnected, and it's rock solid. It's rusted. I can't pull on that, so that's in op. I've already come by and put a zippy tie on it instead of vice grips to try to start this thing, because the safety brake cable's broke in half. So let me bring you back around. Let's check oil. I already looked at the fuel. Fuel tank is dry. Not a drop of fuel in it. Well used oil. So I don't know if the cable issues were the initial reason this thing was parked, or did this stuff here rust out while it was sitting under a tree. You can tell this thing's been sitting for a couple years with the amount of rust on everything. So let's start looking around here. This thing was serviced initially. I'll bring you down. Then we'll discuss this 80-year special edition sticker. $1927 to 2007, 80-year special edition. So I wonder if I get this thing running, I can ask $650 for it, because it's a special edition. I have to laugh when I see that. Back in the 80s, car dealers were putting these special edition stickers on the rear of the vehicles and charging $450 extra because they said it was a special edition. It was really just the regular edition, but they were scalping people because they had these stickers made up. It said special edition. They just slapped it on the back and charged people for nothing, basically, or they threw in a couple of extra floor mats and called it the special edition. People got wise to that after a while. So this was serviced at Palmetto Mowers and More, Palmetto, Florida, and this unit was marked number 11306. I had seen this same system on another company's sticker. They had marked it with a number so they can keep track of what they have done or not done to the unit. So apparently the owner of this Craftsman did not want to bring it back to Palmetto Mowers and have it serviced. So I did notice this self-propelled cover was loose. So it does still have a belt. It's used but still functional. So let me happy juice this since we don't have any fuel in it. We'll see if it fires off. If it does, I'll pour large amounts of fuel in the tank and then try it. So let me juice it and then go from there, see if this thing fires off. Not bad. Nitro. Let's see what it will do or won't do. Okay, it fired off with a shot of motivation. So let's pour some fuel in this thing. Notice that the front wheel drive is engaged. So that could be an issue where the cable is rusted in the engaged position. I had to lift up on the front end here because the wheels are engaged. So that's something I got to look into. If we can get this thing to run, the only thing I'll be looking at is both cables, safety brake and front wheel drive cables, which for a machine this old, 2007, the cables might be kind of expensive. They are not the standard cables. They're kind of oddball cables. It's nothing I have in stock. So this is actually a priming unit. Let me prime the bulb and see if I see the emulsion tube burping. And then it should start. I mean, we fired it off with happy juice. I don't see any other reason why it won't start other than the carburetor being jammed up, clogged up. Not priming. That should be enough fuel. It's covering the bottom of the tank. Okay, fuel's coming out of the bottom of the bowl. Something's leaking. I'm going to try it anyway. So I think the carb needs to be clean. There's a bunch of crud I can see in the throat of the carburetor. And the priming system here needs some attention as well. I'm going to try it one more time with just priming it like that, and then I'll happy juice it. I want to see if this thing will continue to run, although I think it's carburetor issue. Okay, it's starting on its own and stalling. We got to clean the carb on this. Looks like there's damage to the primer bulb as well. The hole has been enlarged. I don't know if something got in there and ate out the rubber, or if it's just old rubber and it deteriorated. Let's turn this on its side. So the deal with this thing is it probably had some bad gas. Carb got blocked up and they parked it. This cable issue is probably secondary. Both these cables rusted out. This thing's sitting under an oak tree. It just rusted itself to death. Let's see what the underside looks like. If it sat on soil or sand, there's going to be some surface rust under the deck here. Lo and behold, it was not garage kept. A lot of surface rust. Kind of flaky in places, needs a blade. Got some wear on the blade. So I think with the carb clean and a couple of cables, this thing will motivate itself again. I just got to see why the front wheel drive is locked in the drive position. Sorry, I just kicked you in the head. So there you have it. This will be my next project. Mess around with the carb. Get the model number here on the back. Right there. Model 917376742. I'll look that up. Find out where I can get both cables. Remove all the wiring for the electric start. That's going to be in-op. And I'll probably remove the starter once I have this torn down. I'll go ahead and take the recoil off to clean up the underside there. I'll remove the starter at that time. So there you go, your 80-year special edition 2007. This had a production date October of 2007. So an oldie but goodie. I'll ask $650 for it once I clean up that sticker. That's going to be my money maker. Golden opportunity. I'll take both front wheels off and investigate, start lubing this thing up. Most likely a rust issue with this thing being outside for as long as it has been. We got an experiment going on here. Anywho, that's all we got for you. I appreciate you coming out, checking out this Craftsman 2007 Craftsman. We'll do another video on this thing. I'll get it all rectified and we can go through it a second time, see what the issues were. If anything else popped up that we haven't discovered just now. As always, please like and subscribe. Thanks for coming out. I think we got some potential here with this Palmetto Mowers and More serviced vehicle at one time. They may be even out of business. A lot of mower shops in the area have shut down. Palmetto Mowers. They may not even be servicing power equipment any longer. As always, please tip your waitress and wait staff. They depend on you on a daily basis.